Into here? Okay. Yes. Hello, my name is Joanna Street, and as you can plainly see, I am that staple of the traditional travelling circus, the Bearded Lady. I've been in the business for over 30 years now, ever since I was a bearded little girl, like my bearded mother before me and her bearded mother before her. Historically, I come from a long line of hairy women. Oddly enough, most of the men that marry into the family are completely hairless. I wonder if that's some sort of yin-yang thing. Anyway, as you might imagine, this can make some aspects of lovemaking seem like a strange and freakish reversal of giving birth. But you quickly get used to that. Contrary to what some people might think, even as a bearded lady, personal aesthetics are important to me. I like to make my own choices just as much as the next woman. For instance, I favour a neat trim. Now, some of the older bearded ladies of yesteryear tended to go in for rather more unruly facial shrubbery. Some of those 70s beards truly were something to behold. Some of them were so big, I swear they could have attracted small asteroids. Still, you have to change with the times, I say. Not that I'm a slave to trends or anything, but today's modern bearded ladies are a competitive, catty lot, and believe you me, if you're not sporting this season's in 5 o'clock shadow colour, they'll tear strips off you. Oh, they'll wax strips off you. You'll notice that not only am I possessed of some rather fine chin topiary, I also have a particularly liberal covering of lush body hair. Note the curly finery of my shoulder fluff, the tufty, rugged rug of my back fuzz. It's a full, luxurious growth, more than a few of my peers, I feel quite sure, would readily kill for. Now this lovely furry down makes the bikini section of my act a real favourite with the crowds. Where does the bikini begin? Where does it end? I've always believed that a woman should maintain an air of mystery, or a hair of mystery, you might say, in my case. Of course, there are drawbacks, especially where personal relationships are involved. Of course, in today's plucked and depilated world, a heavily hirsute hair well, it's not something that most men are looking for. So, as you can imagine, finding the right sort of man has not been very easy for me. Most of them, once the novelty has worn off, always end up demanding that I wax entirely. Although there was one who he just wanted me to shave down there. I suppose it was weak of me, but I duly obliged, and it was not a good look. That singular patch of hairlessness in the centre of all that lovely forestry, it made me look like some sort of weird pornographic monk. I will, however, on occasion, shave a tiny little line down there. It's what I like to call an inverted Brazilian, which, if you'll excuse the rather full disclosure, can act as a sort of landing strip for the uninitiated, as it were. All in all, though, it's a good life. I certainly can't complain. On the road, I still draw in a very decent crowd, and the rest of the time I do a very lucrative sideline, selling off my trimmings to an exclusive clientele of aging Hollywood celebrities who are desperate for that injection of youth and vigour only truly natural hair plugs can provide. So I live very, very comfortably. I want for nothing, which is of course lovely. Yes, people still do sometimes stare and point at me in the street. Young children particularly find me very fascinating, of course, although they are wonderfully, for the most part, rather less judgmental than the adult gawkers. Of course, that only really happens when I travel into town. In the country village where I live, I am a familiar, somewhat unusual face, and I have twice been elected to a position on the local council in charge of maintaining hedgerows. It's a position I still currently hold, which is why I assume some of the locals rather playfully call me Barbara Bush. Barbara Bush.